Hello, hello, hello. Is my audio working? I hope so. Let's see if the audio is working on this side as well. I'll start that back. Begin from the beginning. Hello, this is Bangoche FM. I will admit I'm kind of in a strange place today. I'm happy to participate in the CONCACAF draft later on this week. Fun to hang out with those gentlemen. Still reeling from the final day game loss I had to win the title in that save. Don't know how I feel about that. I do know how I feel. I'm hurt. In any case, we're going to just chat tonight. Not complaining I found on stream tonight. Just want to talk to people. See how everybody's doing and everything. I'm hoping that some of my regulars will filter in. Lockers. Hey, Lockers, what's going on? The man from down under. How you feeling, man? It's good to see you. Oh wow, Seribot is doing some work. Seribot's been banning people. That's awesome. How you doing, man? Oh, excuse me. I'm kind of tired, but I wanted to stream because I'm addicted to streaming. But also, I realized I got to carry my energy with me when I stream, so I don't think I'm gonna play any games tonight. Although I might want to play Words on Stream if enough people show up in here. Finishing food. What'd you eat? Do share. What you been munching? What you been munching on, man? Oh, what is that? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got startled for a second. So I live in an apartment complex. It has one of those. Every apartment has one of those newfangled thermostats called the Nest. So automatically, I've set it up to schedule to blow the fan every 15 or 20 minutes because apparently my apartment is like a freaking space cube or something. So like the issue I have with the thermostat is like, and with the apartment building is that like the windows aren't really that well able to be opened. So basically what happens is it gets really stuffy in my apartment. The thing is I don't use air conditioning. I don't believe in it generally. So I have it turn on the fan. And since the thermostat's all smart and stuff, it tries to be intelligent about how it schedules the heating and cooling of your apartment. It's also smart to the point where it's actually conscious enough to realize that, hey, when the sun is bright during certain times of the day, the temperature in the apartment might be skewed by that. As in, it's actually not that warm in the apartment, but it's warm in certain areas because the sun is hitting the right places and bringing up the heat near the thermostat. So apparently the thermostat tries to learn details about that, whatever. It's too smart for its own good. But basically, getting it set up, I'm very cold generally. So basically I tell it, don't cool anything down until it gets around 79 degrees. And don't heat anything up until it's around or below 73 degrees. Although I do think for other people who do eat meat, their tolerances are pretty much a lot lower than mine. So they probably would want to set it to 75 or 76. I love 80 degrees. That's perfect for me. The problem is with all that heat being trapped in this box, it like makes me stuffy. So I have the AC playing the fan and I have like a little filter thing in my house as well. Lamb bacon. Interesting. And hash brown. So Lockers, does that taste like venison? Because a lot of those like quote unquote gamey creatures, it's weird because like when I used to eat meat, I did have venison and I liked it because it was very salty. Was the lamb salty? How do you make a lamb bacon? That's interesting to me. Lamb bacon. Turkey bacon. I guess you have turkey bacon. You could have lamb bacon. That makes sense. Wait, did you actually buy it from the store or did you make it? I'm curious. Oh, lamb and bacon. I was like, what? I was like lamb. I was like, what? I was like lamb bacon. I was like, Okay, lamb and bacon. Okay, I was like, lamb bacon? I was bemused for a second. You gotta add the comma, man. Precision. Precision. I was like, lamb. I was like, what is lamb bacon? I was about to Google that. I was like, lamb bacon. Turkey bacon? Lamb bacon? Is that what they call it? I was like, what? Lamb and bacon. Okay. Commas, man. You gotta do the commas. You're killing me here. Oh man, that you're taking me to it, taking me on a journey right now. Lamb and bacon, lamb bacon. I was like, what is lamb bacon? What is that? What you talk about? Well, it's lamb bacon. Well, hopefully you had a good meal, Lockers. Yeah, I think tonight I tried something different for my meal. I live across the street from one of these Indian places. And since I'm very vegetarian oriented, it's easy for me to go across the street and just pick up food. It's funny because I don't like the whole food delivery systems because they kind of abuse people, but at the same time, they are convenient. It's one of those conflicting kind of things. So apparently what they do now, since a lot of these restaurants didn't have pick up and take out delivery systems, apparently I can use the same place that would deliver the food and say, hey, listen, I'm going to order food, I'm going to pick it up. And then apparently they give me discounts and stuff, which is kind of weird. Which means they're taking money from me for using their pickup service or whatever. So basically I go across the street. So tonight I tried something called, what's it called? It's called Pav Bhaji. Apparently it's an Indian dish that's Indian fast food. It's basically like beans, onions, potatoes, and I think a creamy tomatoey sauce. And it's served with buns, like buttery buns, and they have a lemon slice with it. So that was pretty good. It's pretty quick, kind of tasty. I wanted something that wasn't a dal. I get tired of dals, so I want to try something like that. So I have that, and I also have I bought an extra thing for vegetable korma. I like kormas a lot too because the korma has a very nice curry tasting kind of thing, and it also comes with a coconut milk. Hold on a second, I am freezing because my AC is going. I'll be right back. Stay tuned, Locker. I gotta find my. Ooh, it's cold. It's really cold. I gotta cut this AC off. I'm freezing. Whoa. Alright, that's taken care of. So, apparently, my intelligent Google Nest thermostat thought it would be a good idea in October to start making the temperature at 12:57 a.m. 76 degrees in my apartment because it's smart like that. It's so dumb. I need to fix it immediately. So yeah. So I was like, oh, I thought at first it was just the AC blasting. No, just fan. No, it was like actually trying to cool my apartment to 76 degrees. Let me see if I can fix that right now. You control it on the phone and stuff too, so it's like a little bit weird. We are too in bed with technology now. Let's go to the schedule here. I'm gonna schedule this stuff until I have to stop doing this. So Monday. No. Get rid of this bullshit. What is this? What is today? Today is Thursday, right? Oh, it's Wednesday. Let's do this. So the weird thing about this whole setup is like, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but like this. These little lozenges are like how you schedule the periods in the day in which it actually does its thing. You have to push on these. Just shifting it left and right changes the time. And pushing up and down on these affects the temperature. So you can say what set temperatures you want. And apparently this thing was set to go to 70. What the hell? Apparently my fingers are too big. 79, 73, got the 73. So everything will go 79, 73. Because apparently I must have the fingers of a stylus. I guess it could be assuming that I'm using an actual iPad or something to do this stuff. Let's make that 73 degrees. That's perfect for me. That's Wednesday. How about Thursday? This is so annoying. In any case, yeah, actually, Lockhart, I thought about something. We should probably ask. We should ask Big Man if he has a copy of that save, because I want to see our game. I want to see our game outside of the goal. I want to actually see how the game played, because I'm really curious how our tactics matched up. I want to see the game. I was actually not thinking clearly. I should have asked if we could have bumped the highlights up to a higher level, but I actually want to see our game. Hopefully he saves it. I want to ask him if he has it around or not. I'm quite curious. How are you doing, by the way? 73? Sorry, I'm being a little bit... I have to be precise with this because it's so annoying, because apparently my phone is like... If I go too quickly, it's hard for me to change the temperature correctly. It shifts the time. It's too sensitive. 79 degrees. 73 degrees. This is really annoying. Okay. That's Thursday. Now, how about... Oh wait, does it do it all the time? That's weird. Huh. Yeah, this thing is too smart. Like, it actually will talk about, hey, say, hey, it can tell, like, wait, I can copy this? Let's do that. Let's say copy. Copy. Paste. I can cut and paste. Okay. That's neat. I can cut and paste it. If I can copy the schedule, I can paste it like I want. That's awesome. That's perfect. I'll just do that. Paste it all over the place. Paste, paste, paste. I didn't know that. I just held it too long for accident. I didn't know I could actually paste the days to a schedule once I can paste it. Okay, so now we're good. So now our temperature will be set for the entire week for 79 degrees and 73 degrees. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so that's me, Mr. Techie, figuring out how my actual thermostat in my apartment works. And it's funny too, because I've been thinking about like my future next year or so. I've contemplated getting a house, but the problem is, houses cost money. Yeah, I want to see that. Like, I want to see how they actually played, you know. I didn't get a chance to actually remember the action zones. Although I probably could watch the old stream. And basically when you're like playing the game, you know, you get like focused on different aspects of the game. I didn't pay attention to the action zones. So I imagine it was like some weird fun stuff going on in the midfield. Yeah, I wanted to see that. I want to see how it plays. I mean, it's a new tactic for me. So I want to make sure that it's actually reacting the way I expect it should. So, you know, but I'll be frank, you probably were here when I took that loss. Wait on a second, I might have to do an ad or something. Oh no, is it, let me know if it's adding for you or not. I think it's adding, right? Okay. Pre-rolls are off. Alright, let me know if you're in an ad or not, because I suspect that I set it up to be smart. I'll type it in case you can't hear me. Let me know if you're in an ad. Let me know if you are in an ad or not. I did some changes to my ad setup. It should be smarter, and it should disable it for longer periods of time. Yeah. I'm wondering. It's funny because I watched Daljit, aka Bust the Net, and I think one of the things he said was once you get the game in your hand, you want to try and see if you can get your formations to work in the new FM. Because I'm imagining a lot of that stuff is going to have to change. Like, the Gegenpress is gone. Forget about the Gegenpress. I thought about the Gegenpress might be disappearing, but I think it might just change. I think they might do it a little more differently. As in, if you can't press, you know you're gonna pay the price for later. I suspect players will try to really Gegenpress and then stop it halfway through the first half or toward the end of the first half and then just shut up shop. Assuming they've used the Gegenpress to get a goal out of it and stuff. Or using your goal. Okay, cool. Alright, I wasn't sure. I'm looking at my schedule now. I'm trying to be active because people complain about my channel showing too many ads. But they keep forgetting this is Twitch, and Twitch does not care. But I set it up so it should be a longer gap between ads. Apparently, by sprinkling in a 30-second ad every 10 minutes or so, you can push off any pre-rolls for about a half hour or so, which is kind of what I want. It's good to hear. But yeah, the formation I used in the draft was something new. So, well, not new, but it's like something novel to me. I mostly fall back on 4-2-3-1. Although, I think one of the things I suspect is that since I do a lot of lower league stuff, that I'm probably not accustomed to trying different formations because I'm working with a crop of untalented players that don't have versatility. Like I would love to play like Lelujo, where he has like 3 formations that are very standard looking, but he has the players that are versatile enough to like switch over and do different things. So I would like to have that. So I think maybe the fact that I get really granular with customizing my tactics to the players I have, that I haven't been accustomed enough to say, hey, you know what, I have good players. Let's try something weird next year because, hey, we have the players with the ability to change and adapt. Like, you know, like back threes. I want a back three, but it's like the fullbacks were never good enough. I mean, I never had like 6 defenders at the ready in case someone gets injured. I never had the midfielders who were strong enough to hold things up by themselves. Playing with a back three, 3-4, 2-1, or whatever. It's the same problem you have with 4-4-2, where the 2 midfielders in the center of the park are tasked too much with defending and attacking responsibilities. They get shattered. So 4-4-2 is counterintuitive because you probably need to have a lot more midfielders than 4 to rotate them and make sure that you guard against injury and stuff like that. So, you know, I think the fact I haven't played as a Manchester United or an Arsenal or whatever in FM21 means I haven't actually had the ability to experiment tactically. You know what I mean? So yeah. So this was a new tactic, and I did it because it mirrored something I saw in real life. But yeah. We should ask Big Man, does he have a copy? I want a copy. I want a copy of the save or a copy of the game. Give me the game or the save. But yeah, it was fun. It was my first, well, not my first draft, it was my second draft ever. It was a casual draft. I went kind of backwards. My first draft was competing in that waste of possession thing. And then that was my second draft. I was very happy to join because Big Man's a good guy. Oh man. So what are your plans today, Lockster? What are you up to today? So you eating the lamb and bacon, not the lamb bacon. That 4-3-1 is the one I use with Arsenal. Ah, okay. Good stuff. I am curious. What's your FM22 save going to be? I'm thinking about either Brazil or Belgium. Or maybe someplace in Asia, if I can find the right set of databases to make sure all the players are correct and proper. Where are you going to go with FM22, your first save? I actually should be not saying that because I think I want to do simultaneous saves. I get a little too caught up in one team. I probably need a second team to freshen my brain up a little bit. Oh man, what are we doing here? check this real quick. My music playing? Let me double check this. But yeah, it's been a weird day. I've been working on stuff all day virtually. And I realize virtual work, as much as I like being at home a lot, it kind of bothers me because it's like if you're not at your desk, you don't feel like you're contributing anything. But then I realize, hey, I need my health and well-being to make sure I can contribute. So I've been taking daily walks to get my lunch and stuff, which is good. But I need to get much more active than I have been before. I'm not like one of these guys who like wants to lose weight every year, but I feel like you need physical and mental acuity because they go hand in hand. So I think if I actually walked more and exercised more often, I wouldn't be as torpid mentally as I felt lately. But that could also be sleep deprivation as well. You know what I mean? Let me check on my, what is this thing going on right here? Let me look on this web browser. I gotta be careful, my browsers are acting kind of funny here. Here we go, okay, that's fine. Okay, I thought hers was broken. I've been using Microsoft Edge instead of Google Chrome, because Google Chrome gets kind of memory hoggy, but apparently I opened too many tabs in Microsoft Edge and it crashes too. Beta will testing tactics with Arsenal. Oh, okay. Your beta will be testing tactics with Arsenal. And for after the beta, we'll always have an Arsenal save going. Okay, you stick with Arsenal, okay. Fair enough. It's funny because I knew FM was the game for me 3 years ago. It's funny because like before Thomas Partey came to Arsenal, I literally signed him up. I think two or 3 years before Partey signed for Arsenal, I did an Arsenal save, and he was the first player who came up, and he was running his contract down at Atletico Madrid, and he was available. The player I wanted was Kessié. I like Franck Kessie from AC Milan, but I figured, hey, dynamic box-to-box midfielder, and he worked. So I knew everything that happens in that game is always presaging something that happens in real life. And so I love that idea. So yeah, Arsenal save, I should try that. I am an Arsenal fan, so I should do that. But I think one of the reasons I got Partey in that particular save was probably because I grew up with Arsenal back in the 90s and stuff, so I'm a big fan of Patrick Vieira. And I think a lot of times people, especially Arsenal fans, have a deep affinity and desire to return to golden days. And so the idea of having a dynamic box-to-box midfielder just rampant in the center of the park appealed to me. And Partey was that guy. But it's funny because it's not wrong to want to have success like you have in the past, but also it's not a bad idea to buy someone because you remind you of someone who was very good in the past. I don't think he's had the ability to be as domineering as he should be because of his injuries, but I feel like he might have some potential to be one of the better players we've seen in a long time at Arsenal Football Club, if he can stave off injury. Don't run the box to box? You probably wouldn't have to, since you're doing 4-2-3-1, so I imagine you have a double pivot. So do you do the double pivot where they're flat in the middle of the park, or do you do one with a deeper lying DM and another advanced midfielder? I'm guessing you wouldn't need a box-to-box unless you're running a 4-4-2, since that's a common thing. You want this two box-to-box midfielders in a 4-4-2 makes sense. If you're running a 4-2-3-1, you might only have one advanced kind of midfielder, and he may not be box-to-box. They usually make them a Mazzala or something like that, or a DLP. And they have a more defensive ball winner, so I'm guessing you wouldn't necessarily need to use a box-to-box, would you? Probably not. Probably wouldn't need to do a box-to-box. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. BWM and defend and DLP on support. Perfect. It's the best of both worlds. Ah, my stretch. This song's pretty good. What is this? I like it. That's pretty tasty. Yeah, so you probably would never need to run a box to box. It wouldn't make sense in a 4-3-1. I don't know. The one thing I haven't actually done enough with regard to central midfield roles, I haven't tried just flat out central midfield. You know what I mean? Just a regular generic CM. Like a very generic role and then simply tailoring that role. Because I mean, basically it's like a clean slate for whatever you want to put on top of it. Like I never use a CM. You always want something. There's something about like Mezzalas, DLPs, BWMs. They're very specialized. You know what they do. I don't know how a CM would work for me. Although theoretically, I could imagine you could have a 4-4-2 with CMs on support and one on defend or whatever. And you could turn up the mentality of the entire team by tweaking what the two CMs in the center of the park do. Yeah, but I think I've been sticking like you, like BWM on support, DLP, BWM on defend, DLP on support. Or if you're down a goal or want to get aggressive, you crank up the mentalities on one of those guys or change the role slightly. I don't know. I've been kind of starved for football lately because there's all Nations League going on now, and I'm like, I don't watch Nations League. Like, what does this mean? Nations League. I'm like, what? It's just friendlies. Nations League. I'm like, oh, what do y'all win with the Nations League? That's weird to me. This is very jungly. I like it. I'm running a flat 4-4-2 and one of the network 6 Interesting. I like how 4-4-2 made a comeback because people were doing a lot of like out there kind of stuff. Like the asymmetric stuff, I'm just like, I wasn't against it until I realized, hey, the key is overloads and stuff. But I think 4-4-2, it's easy to reason about. Although I have to realize all the formations we've been running were meant to be counters to 4-4-2, but a 4-4-2 done properly gives you just the right balance of everything you need, as it should. And actually, I was running 4-4-2 in my network save. Sorry, in my my stream save. I was running 4-4-2 in my streams in my network save. Sorry, running 4-4-2 in my stream save, not my network save. I had a network save one of my mods, but he kind of got tired of technology and I hadn't seen him for a while, so I figured, hey, I should have asked him, hey, what's up with that network save we had, because I was close to getting sacked, and I think I was bringing my team back into contention for not being relegated and stuff, and I wanted to see if I could finish the narrative on that before FM22, but I guess it's too late. So yeah, I don't know. One second, I'm gonna get some water. Loxer, hang on for a second. I'm gonna run an ad break real quick, and then I'll get some water. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So, Lockster, how long have you been playing FM? How many years have you been playing this game? Tell me about the years of your addiction to FM. How long has it been since you've been fiending for demand more and scout reports and attributes and transfer windows? What is the worst thing about this game I keep forgetting about? Oh yeah, contract renewals. That's fun. Contract renewals are fun. What am I doing here? I was doing something important. What was it? I was doing something. Here it is. Let's click here. I'm gonna move that over here so I can see your chat. There it is. I'm gonna make my Streamlabs OBS a little smaller. This is alright. But as the title says, I'm tired of FM right now. I think they might do the yearly release cycle because they know that people, for whatever reason, just end up at their wits' end in exactly 1 year. And so they know they must do something different next year to refreshen the whole thing. This game should not be fun. It's either fun or it's addicting. I think they might refresh the game every year because they know if they don't, people are done. They will quit playing this game and they will do something else. What that is, I don't know. But Lockers, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the Newcastle takeover? Let me know what your thoughts are, because I have some opinions on it myself. Like everyone else does, I think. I'm a little conflicted by it. Well, I shouldn't say a little, I'm not conflicted by it. I know exactly how I feel about it. Let me click here, let's go. I had a spreadsheet open, where did it go? Spreadsheet, where are you at? Hey, don't freeze up on me now, okay? Don't freeze. We'll close you up. We're gonna close you up, because I don't need you open right now. What I'm hoping they could do is maybe figure out a way to actually import teams. I know there's a way to import teams, but I want to import saves. I would love to be able to continue my story in the new version of FM and carry over all my stats and stuff, but within a modified universe. I know they can't do that, but it would be nice to be able to do it, kind of. But I don't know how. It probably wouldn't be possible to do, but I'm like, hey, in the new universe with new circumstances and a new match engine, can you take my old save game and make it FM 22'd? That'd be kind of cool. I have FM 14. Oh, wow. FM 14, miss FM 15. Got FM 16, miss FM 15. You were off and on, huh? Missed FM 17, 18. So you were like 1 or 2 years and you're done. 1 or 2 years and you're done. I did make signings to fit the 442 from a 431-2. With the LW having a higher start point. Let me think. 442. Hold on. Our tactics board up here. I want to see what you're talking about. Hold on a second. Oh, no, this is the wrong thing. Oh, this is broken. What am I doing here? 4. I want to see you segue. 4. No, get over there. 4. 4, 2. 4, 4, 2. We'll go to a 4, 3, 1, 2. Okay. So one guy must go. So I suspect you probably have one guy. Probably this guy. Push up. And then this guy is slot in. So they tuck in. And one of these guys probably more offensive central midfielder than that. Ah, it can work. Okay. And you just need two versatile midfielders. You said the left winger a little bit higher up too, right? So like something like there's a 4-4-2. I mean, you might have something like this, right? Am I doing this right? I don't know. Let me know if I'm doing this right. So yeah, 4-4-2 probably means I don't know. Usually these wingers, I don't see a lot of wingers that can play in the middle of the park too well. Although I have seen midfielders who can play on the wing pretty decently. I like that. 4-3-1-2, I experimented with it a little bit. I liked it, but what is your Wasser? I'm not done. We're just getting started. I'm not done with FM. I'm just done playing for a couple of days. Here's the plan, Wasser. We're going to pick up on an old save. That's not in Paraguay. I have an old save in Germany. I want to pick up on that and play that until the new FM22 comes out, beta or whatever. So we're gonna do that probably in a couple of days. We just started streaming like 40 minutes ago, so I'm gonna vibe out for a little bit. So I'm gonna be here for a while. Just gonna chat for a little bit. Not gonna play any games, just gonna chat. How you doing, Wasser, by the way? Refresh my memory. Are you from Europe somewhere, Wasser? Your name sounds Germanic. Let me know. But yeah, Wasser, if you were here for the last game I played with the team, I was pretty heartbroken. Like, really heartbroken. From the moon. From the moon with you. Yeah. We had this conversation. Gonna ban you. From the moon. Yeah. We had the discussion. Yeah, you're from the moon. Yeah. I love you still, man. From the moon. I was like, what? You're serious, right? Because when I first see that, I read that literally. Oh yeah, Wasser, let me know if the ads are a little crazy or not. Because I set it up so the ads are a little less aggressive. What the hell? What's wrong with this? My browser's broken. But yeah, Wasser, do let me know if the ads appear less frequently, because I did some changes, given some advice from Only Mac, one of the other channel regulars, and so it should be the case that they should be a little bit less aggressive. Wait, is my chat not showing up in here? Why is my chat box not showing? Chat should be showing up on stream. Let's fix that. Unless I disabled my chat box. I hope I didn't. Did I disable my chat box? What is this? Why is that not showing up chat? Your chat should be showing up in the screen. Chat box. I can't read anymore. I can't read. I can't read. Where is this? It's not listed. I lost. Wasser, if I won the last game, I would have won the title in two ways. I would have won that particular part of the season, and I also would have won the entire overall table. But I had a home game against the team that was in second. They went up 1 goal. Then they went down to 10 men. We equalized. I had to press for the winner to win the stage I was in. And with 10 men, they came back and beat me 2-1. It's in the VOD. It was bad. I was crestfallen. Why is it not showing up? I don't see your chat in chat. What's wrong with this? Do you guys see chat showing up in the stream? This looks broken. Something's wrong with this. Guys, let me know if your chat shows up in the stream. I don't see this here or not. This is weird. Huh. There should be chat showing up in the just chatting box. It's not showing up. But do let me know if you're watching the stream and you do see stuff showing up in the chat box. I don't see it. Something's broken. John Cena. Who's John Cena? Who is that? Who is John Cena? I don't know who that is. My browser's broken. What is wrong with this? What the hell? What is wrong with this? John Cena. Who the hell is John Cena? Who is that? I don't watch television. I don't know who that is. Apparently, I can't see any. Oh, there. Okay, there it is. Okay, what? That's weird. Okay. Maybe it's because I reshaped my slobs, so it didn't show me the actual chat box with any text. I want to make sure people can actually see what you write on stream. Okay, cool. Okay, Moon Man. Listen, Moon Man. Moon Man, I lost. I lost the league in the last game. But then again, Vossler, you've been watching the stream for a while, and you know the game was setting me up to lose. You know they set me up to lose. Check it out. The last game of the season. You know my best winger, Morales, right? 10 minutes into the game, he gets injured. A week and a half before the game, my best defender gets injured. A week and a half before the biggest game, my striker gets injured. I had no central defenders who were fully fit, except for one or two guys. Everything they do in that game leads up to failure. But it gives you the possibility of success, which makes you think that when you lose, it's your fault. No. Do everything right in FM, you still lose. I mean, literally everything right. It's almost like you have to do something weird to throw the AI off to win. Everything right. Rotated the side, kept them fit, kept them sharp, gave them encouragement. But then again, I realized my players were overperforming. We should not be that good. We were predicted to finish 10th. We're finishing 2nd. It's an achievement. I shouldn't be angry that I lost. I should be happy that we actually completed and did so well and pushed them to the very end. And that's the growth mindset I should have when it comes to playing this game. Players making injury despite you. Ah, my leg, coach. Ah! Players faking injury to spite me. Listen, I am a disciplinarian, but hey, don't forget that I actually reduced the training intensity halfway through the season because I was trying to take care of them. I am merciful at times. My military training. What are you talking about? Moon Man, you're talking that bunk. That's what you're talking. You're talking bunk, Moon Man. You're talking that stuff. Military training. They wanted to lie. Ah, my neck, coach. I'm sorry, I can't come to training tomorrow. Get out of here, man. He said because of his military training. This song's pretty good. I like it. What song is this? I like it. It's called Spotlights. Ooh. This song is a vibe. The vocals could be better, but I like it a lot. Very auto-tuning. Where is my stuff at? Here it is. Okay, I was looking for my stuff. Like, what the hell? Here we go. Let's hear that again. I like that. What's it called? Spotlights? I want to play that again. I like that. That's dreamy. I like that a lot. Sorry, I'm typing something real quick. Make sure I don't lose attention to it. Said they hate my military training. They faked injury. You don't fake injury when you're about to win. Listen, Voss, you forget. My military training led us to a Copa Paraguay. They should be drilled in success. We are not a vacation resort. We are a football club, and we like winning. But yeah, I was pretty heartbroken, Vosser. I was pretty hurt. I think it's funny too, Vosser, because like oh, you don't get Twitch DMCA because I'm paying for the song. I use Epidemic Sound, so I pay them like $10 a month. You don't get DMCA because I'm licensed to use the music. That's why. What is this? Why are you not modded? You should be modded without a doubt. What's this thing talking about? I think it's probably has the wrong bad command. Let me check my commands real quick. Cloudbot's acting up. Cloudbot, don't start acting up. But yeah, this music is, I'm legally licensed to use it. It's funny because this music, you probably have heard it in other places. The thing is, streamers have to register that they are licensed to use the music that you're hearing. So basically, everything here is from Epidemic Sound. You probably could play it and stream it and not get like a copyright strike. What'll happen is if I say, hey, you know what, we're gonna hold a copyright claim. For example, on YouTube, if I stream on YouTube with music they're not sure about, they will basically hold it. They won't give me a copyright claim, but they'll say, hey, you know what, this music, we are not sure if you're licensed to use it, so we're gonna make sure that we'll give you a chance to file a claim that you have a right to use music. In the meantime, they will not let you get any money from ad revenue based upon it. So basically, they're trying to do a middle ground thing. They're not going to strike you. Like Twitch is beginning around that by saying, hey, you know what, if you play copyright music in your stream, they will scrub it after the fact. So that way they won't have to strike you. On YouTube, you might have music that they're not really sure about. They'll say, hey, you know what, we're not sure if you're licensed to use the music. Here's a form you can fill out. You can tell us if you are licensed to use it or not, with the threat that says, listen, if you make a false claim, we'll delete your YouTube account. But instead of destroying the video, they say, listen, we'll give you a chance to file a copyright claim saying you have a right to use the music, but also we'll just simply hold all ad revenue and give it to the person who made the music instead. So yeah, it's Epidemic Sound. I pay them money. I can play the music on stream. Although there are some tricks to get around that. Some other streamers, what they do is they will play copyright music, but they will direct their Streamlabs OBS to say, listen, I want you to play the music on stream, but don't store it on the video on demand. So when you listen to the stream, you hear the music. But if you go back and watch the video on demand, there's no music on that video on demand. The problem is, people don't realize Twitch already has the ability to live check streams for DMCA copyright violations. It's just that they elect not to enforce that. But they can ban you live in stream if you're playing copyright music, even if it's not stored on the VOD. They have the ability to do that, but they probably don't want to because it's too many people and too much hassle. But they can do it if they so choose. They simply say, hey, you know what, you play music during your stream, they hear it on the VOD, they detect it, they mute the audio. It protects everyone. They don't lose a streamer with copyright strikes. They can't get complaints from the record companies or whatever. And the streamer gets a chance to play the music he wants to. That's the issue. The issue is like people want to play music. They don't want to like play beats. They want actual music people listen to. And so, oddly enough, the one thing they probably could do is simply play very old music. Like music from the 1920s and 30s. Music that has outlived its copyright date. I'm not sure how long copyrights last on music, like 50, 60, 70 years, but basically if you played like folk music or blues music or very, very old country music, basically if you played music that was old enough to be on vinyl back in the 1920s and 30s, you could play it on stream without a problem because its copyright has expired. And so that's kind of why that artist Moby was using all of those samples from those blues archive records and stuff, because no one could sue him because they're falling out of copyright. But it also kind of means that the families and beneficiaries of those estates will never see a dime out of all the millions of dollars Moby has actually accumulated playing their music or the music of their ancestors. It's really kind of cool, but kind of messed up too. So I don't know. He made the music, so he has the right to make money to it, obviously. Make money for it, I should say. I don't mind if he uses the music as long as he provides attributional credit of the music. So I don't mind if he uses the music, but if you're going to use the music, you should say, hey, you know what? This is where I got it from, and these are the original sources and stuff. I wouldn't mind that. Use the music all you want, make money off it, but just say, here's where I got it from. Provide sources. I would kind of like that. I would like that better versus someone just taking music and saying, hey, it's mine, and I made something new to it or whatever. Let's see here. Put that over here, put that over there. So Moon Man, how are we doing tonight, man? Moon Man. What is this? So we're gonna say, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, Voss, that reminds me too. Vosser, you should also be aware that I'll be competing this weekend in the CONCACAF Draft League. It'll be fun. I actually did a draft with Big Man and Cube, FM, and a bunch of other guys. Earlier this week. So we're gonna compete again. Yeah, I'll share it with you. Yeah, it'll be this thing. I'll put it in chat. Hold on a second, Vasa. Oh, that's not my fault. That's probably because of it's past 1:30. Alexa, make the office lights red. So it's probably because I have a timer. So basically the idea is like my lights are set so when it gets 1:30 in the morning, they start to dim. And so initially the lights were orange. But since I said, hey, make the lights dim at 1:30, they cut to white and then they start getting gradually darker and darker. So I didn't make it white on purpose. It did that on its own, probably at 1:30, like 8 minutes ago. And there's my phone talking to me. Who is this girl? What do you want? You girls are goofy. She's got no butt. Get out of here. Unmatch. Unmatch. You're reported. No, don't unmatch. Just unmatch. Get out of here. You've got no butt. Poor conversation. People do not know how to talk anymore. No, I don't have a girl. It's just like I'm on a lot of dating apps. And I get frustrated on dating apps, not because dating apps are dating apps, but more like because like people will click like on your profile. And then one of two things happen. Either when you reply back, they give you their life story and they'll smother you in all of these details. Or you get single word answers. Hello. Like I say, hello, how was your weekend? How are you doing? They'll say, hi. And that's it. Or I'll try to spark a conversation and they don't know how to talk. I'll say, hey, you seem to like tea. That's very interesting. And they're like, why? And I'm like, okay, am I talking to a wall? Tell me about yourself. People don't know how to talk anymore. It's like, I'm not saying they have to talk like me. And I'm old enough to realize that people have different sorts of conversational rhythms and different sorts of means of communicating. In other words, it's not like you should be forced to talk like me or be forced to share my interests. But I would like some people with some ability to converse. Like sometimes people, when I get on like a dating app, they say, hello, I am the wind, I am the stars, I am the ocean. I'm like, dude, you're not the ocean, you're a secretary. That's fine. You don't have to tell me you are the stars, the sun. I'm like, just talk like a normal person. Like one model that someone told me about when I was younger. A lot of times men are very scared to talk to women. And they're scared because the term is called approach anxiety. Approaching a woman is very dangerous because she may reject you, she may not like you, she might threaten to get her big cousin or brother to come beat you up. So approaching a woman is very dangerous. So men are very scared to talk to women, which is actually understandable. So one of the ways in mental strategies, one of the mental strategies you can use to talk to women is to simply imagine she's someone different. Like for example, how would you talk to your cousin? How would you talk to a cousin you hadn't seen for 4 or 5 years? How would you address them? That is the way you should talk to a woman you've never seen before. So you're comfortable, but not really anxious. You're not pretentious. You have a shared context. You have a certain amount of confidence. You have a certain amount of shared or presumed shared points of reference. And that way, if you talk to a cousin you haven't seen in like 4 or 5 years, you should use that as a way to talk to a woman you've never spoken to before. Because that way, you're very comfortable in your own mindset. It's almost like you have to trick your brain to avoid the approach anxiety you might have approaching a woman. If you do that, then it's easy. Although I have seen other men try more extreme methods to learn how to talk to women in real life. Like one person, it is. It actually works. One guy, he said, listen, I'm scared to talk to women. But the way you get unafraid of doing something is to simply do it a lot of times. Whereas one guy, he would talk to any woman, anywhere, about anything, every time. Didn't matter if she was big or small, pretty or ugly. He talked to all the women. And once he did that, of course, he had a lot of weird interactions and a lot of people who were really not happy with him. But once he got over that, he got over his fear of talking to people. So once he calibrated himself, he could then direct his ability to talk in ways more beneficial to himself and to the women he would talk to. So he'd say, hey, you know what? He'll talk to ugly girls. And he'll be like, hey, he'll talk to the ugly girl as if he's actually interested. Like with full confidence. And then he began to make that differentiation in his brain. You know what? There is no difference between talking to an ugly girl versus talking to a pretty girl. You talk to both kinds of women the same way. What you have is a woman, ugly or not, pretty or not pretty, big or small. And I think even though the manner in which either type of woman might receive your conversation, it doesn't shake the foundation of where you approach that as a man talking to a woman. So in other words, it works either way. If you talk to someone who isn't that attractive as if you were attracted to them, in the same way that you talk to a woman who is very attractive, then it works either way. Like for example, I hate the fact that you would talk to someone who would be considered ugly. And of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the confidence with which you would talk to a woman that you may not be physically attracted to means you have a certain amount of detachment and a certain amount of confidence and a certain amount of belief in yourself, saying, hey, you know what, she's not that attractive, and you're not really hinging upon her attention. The thing is, that mentality is the same mentality you should use when talking to a pretty woman. Because pretty women are used to being flattered. They're used to having the red carpet laid out for them. And so having a man talk to them as if they were ugly, like, you know, giving them grief, not kissing their butt, being confident, being playful, being fun, I think they appreciate that. So talking to a pretty woman this way you would talk to an ugly woman or an unconventionally pretty woman kind of works. Basically, it's all in your brain. And I think a lot of times, given the pandemic and the fact we don't have a chance to interact as much with people in general, I feel like we're kind of getting out of practice. Basically, I don't feel able to connect to people as easily. And the fact that I'm already introverted means that I don't need to connect with people that easily. But I would like to have a more active love life in general. And that means stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit. But it's hard. And I get frustrated with people who waste my time. And I don't mean waste my time as in, oh, you don't give me what I want, you're wasting my time. But more like people who just don't seem to be on the same wavelength. People who don't seem interesting or don't seem interested in things. People who don't have rich personal lives. I don't know if I'm wrong for that. Do you think people online versus real life? Do I think people online versus real life personalities are different? I think yes, but I don't think deliberately. I think people have a persona they have. People have an implicit persona that arises from being on the internet. and that persona may take different shapes. Because you might have people who have a personality, but when they're online, they're different than the way they are in real life. But it may not be conscious. Like, for example, streaming, I have not really looked at my streams heavily to see how I present myself. But I do think my personality that I share on stream is who I am in real life. But bearing in mind, I have observed myself personally as I stream and think about, okay, my mannerisms and my thoughts change unintentionally because people are watching me. Like, take for example, like Football Manager, this game I play. This game I play used to be something that was very, very meditative for me. This is a thing I used to release myself from the world. You know, this is my fun. This is my personal space when I play Football Manager. Addicted to the game, playing the game by myself, trying to win, trying to fight, getting angry, all that stuff. And then I stream it. And now it takes a different shape. This very intimate, personal, meditative activity is now happening in front of people. And I feel like that may be changing the way that I play the game. And I feel like maybe changing the way in which I present myself, because that's what we're here for. Streaming is not about the game. Streaming is about the streamer. And that's something I had to accept. When I first started streaming, it was really awkward and strange to me. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, I'm not trying to make a living out of this stuff. Like, why do I stream? I don't know why I stream. I just enjoy it. I needed something during the lockdown and stuff different. I needed something to stimulate my mind in a different way. Like, before I even started streaming, I spent some time researching the technology. I spent time setting up my whole office and everything. I had to get slobs, had to get the games, had to get the key lights, get the microphone. All the technology I had already together. But I didn't understand how the actual streaming work would go. I didn't understand all the Twitch stuff. It was just a lot. I simply wanted to challenge myself. And it's weird too when I think about it, because now streaming is giving me confidence. Not that I lacked it before, but I feel more able to do things out of my comfort zone because I'm doing things out of my comfort zone. But then I have to realize when I stream, I have to be conscious of my energy levels. Because if I'm not feeling it, having a bad day, it's gonna be a bad stream. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not playing tonight. Like, I know I'm tired, I'm not focused, I'm still heartbroken from the last game of that save. I'm still literally heartbroken. And it was embarrassing. And right before the big game, I got raided by Huckleberry Finn. 15, 20 people watching my stream. I'm excited. It's a home game. Last game of the season. Win the game, you win the title. Everybody's watching. I get FM'd. The last game of the season. Every game I played so detailed because I played that way because that's how you win. Those little margins make you win when you're a lower league team. And they just didn't want to give it to me. The game feels unfair, but it's FM. Of course it's unfair. Alexa, office lights up 20%. See, that's that. Literally, you can see the lights are dimming. They're trying to make me go to sleep. They're getting darker and darker. I have to turn them up on purpose. But yeah, so to answer your question, are people different? from the real personality, I would say it depends. They're obviously the same person at their core, but the person you see and the way you interpret what they say and what they do may be different because of the venue. Like, for example, take Nick Merckx, for example. Nick Merckx, he feels like the person you see on stream is who he is in real life, which is kind of dangerous. But what happens is, I think streaming might end up becoming very much like a relationship. If you're a young man. If you're a young man, a lot of times, young men get in relationships and they don't work out because what happens is, they say, I want a woman. They go out, they find a woman, they start dating or whatever. And let's say they finally establish a relationship. And then they get upset and they feel weird because they had a very strong sense of themselves and what they wanted, which was that woman. And once they got the woman, now they're part of a relationship. They are no longer an individual who was filled with passion and desire and wanted something. Now they are part of a collective. So what happens a lot of times is men end up being weird and conflicted when they're in relationships because they say, this is not who I am. They almost end up on, what's the word? They go on autopilot. They feel weird. They end up doing things in a relationship because they feel like they have to do them. They don't do them with a conscious mentality about, I'm doing this for these reasons. They say, hey, I'm in a relationship. I'm just going to do these things because that's what people do in relationships. So they go on autopilot. And then when their true selves are trying to grapple with this autopilot mode, that tension is within themselves, and then tension also plays out in their interactions with the woman they're seeing or whatever. So it's almost like I'm not sure if you watched that movie. There is a movie called American Beauty, and it talks about a middle-aged man's midlife crisis. So he is married, he has a wife, 2 kids, decent job, and he feels like, I wasted my entire life. Of course he loves his wife. Of course he loves his children. But I think he turned on his head when he sees like some young blonde girl who he's very attracted to, who's in high school. And he ends up having all these old, passionate ideas and themes about what he wanted. Like he goes out, he gets a fancy red hot car. He goes inside of the garage and lifts weights. He smokes. I'm like, okay. Is that actually him? You wouldn't say that is him all the time. He wasn't this guy who was chasing after young girls, wanting to have a red hot convertible, wanting to smoke and lift the weights and do whatever. But he feels like he's missing who he was. Like, when did he become suburbs man? You know, he doesn't know. And so he's living that life for 20, 30 years on autopilot. And all of a sudden, seeing this young girl brings up in his mind and his heart all of those repressed ideas about who he was and what he wanted. So it's kind of creepy because, hey, you're a 50-year-old guy. You shouldn't be having a crush on like a girl in high school or whatever. But I think the fact is, it's not about the girl. Her presence is a catalyst for him to question the nature of his existence. And, oddly enough, the fact that he's finally questioning the nature of his existence as a suburban executive middle-aged guy with 2 kids and a wife and a big house or whatever, he's thinking about why. Why do I love my wife? Why do I love my kids? Why am I here? In other words, a lot of times midlife crisis people get upset because they think their lives are a mistake. And I think that's incorrect. It's just time and sometimes circumstance lead your different ways. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's a mistake to marry your wife and have kids. It's just that you were accepting, you were not a victim of circumstance, but you were subject to circumstances surrounding your life at that time. So it wasn't a mistake to marry your wife, but I think the fact is those circumstances make you think that those other younger impulses were wrong, and they weren't. You know, people want to go outside, go to a bar, get in the car, drive fast, cause trouble, you know, go to a party, get into a fight, you know, have stories to tell. College was fun. Things like that. You go from that life to suburbia. Neither one of those is wrong. It's just different. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think when people go through midlife crises, that basically those questions come into play. And so, going back to your original question, are people's online personalities the same as their in real life personalities? I would say the answer is yes. It depends on who you're asking and why you're asking. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think people who get online are faking who they are. I don't think they're pretending to be someone they're not. Unless it's a very deliberate sort of skit or an act they take on. I think maybe the person they emerge as would be indicative of other aspects of the personality that they're not even conscious of. So you have at the core a person. And I think it may be an incorrect assumption to think that the person in real life is the true person, and thinking the person on the internet is a person with a mask. There's a being in the center of all of that, and maybe what you see is what emerges out of those behaviors. So there's someone at the core of all this, but the person in real life that you might encounter is not a fake person, but may not be the truest person you might be able to know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends upon what you define as a person. When you interact with a person in real life, you're basing your judgment of the person on their behaviors and their interactions with you. You don't know everything there is to that person. So a lot of times people say, hey, like for example, like let's say you have a murderer, a killer who lives in the suburbs. He's a serial killer, kills like 15, 20 people. He gets caught after like 5 or 10 years. And people say, oh my God, I can't believe John did that. He's not the type of person. Yes, he is. He is that person. It's just you didn't know that. People think they can know who a person is based upon their interactions with them. But it's also funny too, because to an extent you probably can. Like, as you interact with people on stream, either you watch them or you chat with them, you're forming an image of who they are based upon those words, those games, and those interactions. You're creating someone in your own mind, but you don't know what all circumstances that person is living under. Like for example, there was a guy at work, cranky old guy. I didn't like this guy. He was what I call one of those stereotypical like jerks at work. Very smart, very abrasive. Protected by the fact he had a lot of friends in high places and he knew how things work. If the site goes down, everything's broken, you call this guy, he knows how to fix it. But he's an ass. One time we were having a meeting, and it was me, a bunch of other people, and the jerk guy. I'm like, oh, this jerk guy. I had some interaction with this guy. I was just like, oh, this guy. And then his phone rang. And you know, sometimes the phone, you'll see like the message appear on the thing, whatever. And on this guy's phone, I wasn't trying to look at his phone, but he had it in the middle of the table. And his face was facing toward me. So the phone rang. It was a text message, and apparently this guy had a lawyer. And his lawyer said, hey, David, the divorce papers are finished. And so this guy, he's been a jerk ever since I've known him, for years. And I was like, oh, okay. This guy's been going through divorce for all this time. He's been an ass to everyone. He's been a jerk. He's been abrasive. He's been direct and demanding. Because he doesn't have time. Okay, maybe he still is that person. He might be a jerk. But now I realize he was doing that trying to sort out his personal life. Trying to get a divorce. And I met this guy's kid. He has 1 or 2 kids. And I'm like, oh, okay. You got 1 or 2 kids, you're going to divorce, you're coming to work, and you got dumb people surrounding you. You don't have time for nonsense. So I built an image in my mind of this very abrasive, jerky guy who had no personality, just not a good person. And then I had to think, oh, okay, he's a human. He married a woman. He had a kid with a woman. I think she loved him. Maybe they fell out of love. And then it didn't work out. He's kind of rich. He's got to split all of his assets in half. He's losing half of his stuff. He probably will have to pay alimony for 20 or 30 years. He will have to negotiate agreements to see his children, spend time with them, plan activities with them. Maybe since he has like a son, he will have to figure out, hey, if he sees his son on occasion, you got to talk to your son about different things, as you might know. You might have different problems. She might be seeing a new person. He might or might not be good for her or good for the kids. His kids no longer. Their shared responsibility. In other words, this guy is a jerk. He still is a jerk. And what he did to me and other people was not right. But I built an image of him based upon an idea that he's just doing it to hurt me. But maybe there are other circumstances surrounding who he is as a person. So the person I met IRL may not necessarily match up with the person he actually is, who was married, who had children, who had a wife, who might have a very rich, interesting personal life. But I won't know that because he's just a guy at work. So I don't know. I don't think we need to know who people are in reality. Because knowing who they are in reality does not change or excuse their behaviors toward other people. But I do understand their behavior is better. I don't want to know every little thing about a person, but I would like some sort of context to help me try to empathize with them. Empathy does not mean apology. I won't excuse bad people or bad behavior, but I might have given him more leeway if I knew he was getting divorced. Because as a person myself, I've seen divorces go through. And I hear, you know, when you're a kid and you have parents getting divorced, you hear things. Parents don't realize how attentive children are when divorces are happening. Like, you hear things about money, you hear things about whatever. You hear a lot of things. And then you wake up one day and all of a sudden you're moving to a new house. Like, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. All of a sudden, dad's not living with you anymore. You're moving to a new place. It's just weird. And I don't think parents, when things are happening with the divorce and stuff, are really keyed into the needs of their children because they're already in a weird place with the divorce. So parents always say, listen, come talk to me, I understand. No, you can't understand. You are consumed with a divorce. And I think it's interesting that a lot of times people say, hey, you know what? Let's not get divorced. Let's stay together for the children. I'm like, the kids already know you hate each other. They live with you. You say and do things that they can observe and they can see. Let's stay together for the kids. We can't get divorced. Stay together for the kids. Dudes, they know you hate each other. Get divorced and make it easier on everyone. They act like their kids aren't watching them. I mean, people worry about like the satellites watching them. The best spies are your kids. They hear and they see and they see everything you do. Like, they might know that you're mad at each other because, oh, you're arguing about milk. Like, you wake up one day and like your parents are arguing over something really trivial. Milk. Who drank all the milk? I drank all the milk. Why you do that? No. I'm like, okay. So either the parents snap on the kids or they snap on each other. Blah, blah, you didn't do the dishes. Just tell me to do them and I'll take care of it. But it's like, why is it like a big deal? And then they make things blow up. And it's like, the kids know that you don't love each other anymore. And they know you don't want to live with each other anymore. And you know, they also know that you feel like, okay, the kids are a problem. Because they are a challenge to surface when divorces happen. And of course, people under duress, they have a habit of doing something I call talking out the side of their head. When a thought emerges from their mouth, unfiltered, unprotected. Now, in fairness to that tendency, saying that thing that comes out of their head without any filter does not mean they actually think and believe that all the time. It's just the thing that came up in the moment. It's not a thought that they wake up with and recycle and regurgitate over and over again. Like when someone says, I hate you, you get on my nerves. They're not waking up every day thinking about how much they hate you. It's just, it just popped out of their head. And when divorces happen, that happens a lot. And if you're a kid and you don't have the maturity to understand that, hey, they don't think these words all the time. It ends up being a thing where like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where divorces are terrible and everyone's scared of divorce because they're so terrible. So they do a lot of dumb things to avoid the divorce, and they make staying together just as terrible as a divorce. I think if people had the ability to be more accepting of conflict and more introspective and reflective about their needs and their wants, maybe divorces wouldn't be so bad. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you hurt me, I don't like this. I don't want to leave, but I'm worried about this. If they were more clear and direct about what they wanted versus assuming things and interpreting things about other people's behaviors and their words, maybe there wouldn't be a divorce at all. And if there was a divorce, it would be much more amicable, much more affirming. It might be the case that a divorce might make you care more for that person, because you realize this setup is not going to work for you. But by the same token, the steps you've taken made it so that you care, and you demonstrate you care more for that person by stepping away from them and shifting circumstances, you know? So it's like, maybe divorces could be a force for good and not like this dreadful, terrible thing that, oh my God, we got divorced. It's such terrible. It's so negative. Maybe it's not a negative thing because people change. You know, people change and they evolve. And it hurts. People hate to be alone. But no one can say that. They say, oh, let's stay together for the kids. Oh, what about the church? What about this? No one can say, hey, you know what? I don't want you to divorce me because I don't want to be alone. Who says that? They may say that in an argument, but no one says, hey, I don't want to divorce you because I hate to be alone. I don't want to find someone else. I want you because you're good enough. No one says that. But that may literally be the actual unvarnished truth about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I always think about that Annie Lennox song. Well, there was a chorus in one of the songs that Annie Lennox did that said, "You hurt me, I hate you." And I was like, wow, that was actually pretty poignant. That song was dope. Let me look that up. What song was that? You hurt me, I hate you. You hurt me, I hate you. I hate you. There it is. You hurt me, I hate you. What's this song called? That's literally the song. The song is called You Hurt Me and I Hate You. That song is bomb because it's so direct. One thing I keep forgetting too is that I think it was I'm looking now. I'm looking on genius.com. It'll come out in 1989. September 11th, 1989. Eurythmics. The album was called We Two Are One. I'll send you the link. Hold on. I got you. You hurt me. I love that song. I love Annie Lennox. She is like the blackest white woman I've ever seen. She's got soul. I love Annie Lennox, man. Love her. Wait. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Eurythmics. Can't talk. Eurythmics were bomb. I love Eurythmics, man. 80s music was the best. Of course, since I grew up in the 80s. But it was just very, very interesting to me. But yeah. See, I don't know. It's just being very direct about your emotions is hard for people to do because we live in an indirect society. And also, by the same token, if you make it very clear that things bother you or upset you, people who are a little bit malicious might take advantage of that. So being a little bit circumspect about what you feel and why you feel that way may be a literal defense mechanism. Because you don't know if people you're interacting with have your best interests at heart. I don't know. I just feel strange because a lot of times I feel like that I hurt a lot of people when I was younger because I lacked self-awareness. I lacked the ability to communicate my needs and wants. And the inability to communicate my needs and wants meant I would find it easier to go on autopilot and just go with the flow. And then when things came to a head and it came to a conflict, everything just explodes. It all just builds up over time because you don't have those arguments and disagreements earlier in the game. Because you might be afraid that the arguments might lead to a breakup. Maybe a breakup's what you need. Conflict's what you need. You need conflict. You need to fight. That should be reversed. If you mean East people, or do you mean, it depends on which people you're talking about. Because Germans are very direct. People in England and America are not. Actually, no. People in America are not. I find Germans are very direct, which is refreshing. But also, it kind of breaks my brain a bit because there is a dance in communication. Like, for example, I'm from a state called Missouri. And in Missouri, say, for example, me and you are neighbors, Vassar. Let's say you're my neighbor. You have a lawnmower. I want to borrow your lawnmower. I will come visit you 8 o'clock in the morning. And I will talk to you about everything. Talk to you about your house, your kids, your wife, about your property, everything. 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And then I'll go to leave. And I'll say, hey, oh, wait, by the way, can I borrow your lawnmower? Because I have something to do. So in other words, I am genuinely interested in talking to you. I am culturally genuinely interested in knowing what's going on with you and your kids. But the dance means that I cannot come out and directly say, I want your lawnmower. I must engage in the dance to show that I care about you, and I must reaffirm our bonds outside of the request. But if we were Germans, can I borrow your lawnmower? Yes. Can I borrow your lawnmower? No. That would be the conversation. Yes or no. But if I became that direct here and just asked for the lawnmower, I would be rude. So in other words, it's multi-layered and very contextual. And I think the fact that people have different sorts of ways of communication means it's much more difficult. But the one way to avoid all that is to be very clear. You must basically become more direct to avoid ambiguity. Saying, hey, I'm going to ask you a question. Is it okay if I ask you a question? In other words, being explicit might mean you might be able to you might have a need to be more direct, but also to couch that directness in kindness. Saying, hey, listen, I don't want to be rude because I don't understand how things work here, but I must ask you a question about something. Versus saying, here, I want to ask you a question. In other words, you have to figure out some way to calibrate the directness. The thing is, the key is to avoid ambiguity about what you want and what you desire. And so I think people, if they find ways to lubricate that directness, there'll be less issues in general. But yeah, in terms of like people from the East and West, I find people in the eastern part of the United States are much more direct. People in the west side of the United States are much more metaphorical and indirect. They still want something, but there is a dance. And they assume the rules of the dance are the same across the country, and they are not. In the East Coast, I am more polite because I'm being direct. Because what it means is I'm being very clear about what I want. I'm also not wasting their time. Because if they don't know what I want, they have to waste time trying to process what I'm trying to say. So in other words, they actually feel more encouraged by my directness because they know that I'm not trying to waste their time. And they know that I'm not trying to give them more work to interpret what I'm saying. What swear? Noah, what's going on, man? What swear are you talking about? Don't repeat it, but tell me what the swear was. Sugar, honey, iced tea, something like that. But yeah, in other words, being more direct might be more polite. That's not a swear. Get out of here, man. I don't want to hear. Don't give me that. No. Don't come in here starting trouble, Noah. You're here causing trouble. You're provoking stuff. Like I said, I just want to vibe out with chat. You were here for the FMing. I'm sick of this game. Although I am excited to participate in the CONCACAF FM Draft League this Saturday. So I think I shared it with you. We're doing this. Well, tough titty. I'm being direct. Bangoche FM Uncut. We're doing this weekend. Tune in if you guys can. I think it'll be 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is probably 9 o'clock p.m. Yeah, at least not here. How are you doing, man? How are things going over there on the other side of the pond? Yeah, honesty is a good thing. Honesty is a good policy. I don't think it's the best policy. Honesty is a good policy. I don't think it's the best policy. People sometimes have difficulty accepting the truth. You need someone who's able to receive the truth. If you're honest to someone and they can't receive the truth, then they'll do that thing where they literally are delusional. Like a robot does not compute. Telling them the truth might break their brain a little bit. Yeah, but I'm too honest sometimes though. Yeah. You can be honest, but just keep it to yourself. There's honesty and then there's sharing the honesty. You can keep it to yourself when you have to. But sometimes you gotta just go out. The thing is, I think people say, oh, don't be brutal. It's not brutality. If you're telling someone the truth, you have to be clear to listen. I'm telling this to you out of a place of concern. You know, I'm telling you something very uncomfortable out of a place of concern for you. But people have an image of themselves they're trying to maintain. And so the image that people maintain usually requires that they don't make any mistakes. So if you tell them, hey, this thing you're doing is a bad idea. Here's why. They're like, no, what are you talking about? No. You need someone who's receptive to that. And that's the issue. You need someone receptive to that criticism. The thing is, if you're friends with someone who is not receptive to criticism, that becomes a problem. Because sometimes people, what's the word? I'll tell you a true story. There are certain people that I befriended at work who have very bad opinions about the world. Like, you probably know a guy like that. A guy who has bad opinions about the world and who always plays devil's advocate. You say black, he says white. Not because he believes in white, but because he just wants to argue. They just love arguing about stuff. And so what happens a lot of times is they have a stupid idea in their brain, and the first thing they think to do is to run to you and say, hey, I have a stupid idea, let me tell you about it. But not for arguing. You used to be that. Oh, you're that guy. Stop it. You used to be that guy. But not for arguing. You used to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Come on, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. But yeah, like, okay. I'll give you a real example. Just dark times. Well, hopefully you're not that guy right now. Let's live in bright times, not dark times. But I'll give you an example. There was a guy who, he's this guy. He says, hey, Bangoche, let's go get some Indian pizza. If you have not had Indian pizza, it's very good if you get it from the right place. Basically, it's like a pizza made with like curry and chicken paneer, masala. It's like a pizza with Indian spices and stuff on topping on top of it. We went out to an Indian pizza spot, and I could sense he had something on his mind he wanted to tell me. And I was like, okay, I was waiting for him to unload this thing he was going to share with me. And basically he was sharing with me incel propaganda. I'm not sure if you know what incels are, but I don't want to get into that. But basically, like, he was like saying, hey, you know what? You know how sometimes certain men are weird and strange and they can't date women and they feel really comfortable. That wasn't you. Hopefully it wasn't you. It wasn't you, never mind. That wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay, Shaggy, wasn't me. Kids, bro. I can't. Hey, it wasn't me. Wait, I'm confused now. What are you talking about? No, you're confusing me. What? Why are my lights off? Whoa. Hey. My apartment is telling me to go to bed. But anyway, we were sitting at the Indian, like, Alexa. Bedroom, oh, crap.
I'm not sure.
Alexa, turn the office lights up 30%.
I don't know how to set bright in office to that setting.
What? Alexa, office lights on 30%. There we go. Gotta argue with my stuff. Oh, okay. Well, you said you're in hopefully not in the place. I said, kids, bro, I can't. Okay. Now I understand. Okay, cool. Anyway, I'm done arguing with the Internet of Things. Anyway, me and my friend, we went to Indian pizza spot. He says, hey, you know what? There are certain men who are very weird and very strange, and they can't find women to date, and they're very hurt, and they're so much pain because they can't find a woman that wants to date them. I said, yeah, I know about that sort of thing. And he says, hey, you know what? In a similar fashion, you have women who are very, very ambitious, very hardworking. They are career driven. And so they don't have time to date and marry and do whatever. I said, yeah, I know about that. I know about women who have said, hey, you know what? I have career ambitions. And they're going to set their family plans aside. Dating and marriage, they're going to set that aside for a little bit and try to develop their careers and maybe look into that later when they get older. I said, yeah, I know about both of those things. Basically, he was trying to say, listen, the same pain and suffering that a weird, strange man has at not being able to date a woman is the same thing as a woman who, because of her career, has set aside her family plans and then later on finds it difficult to date and marry men. But I said, yeah, Alexa did. The thing is, those two things are not the same. The one thing that's weird about incel propaganda is that, here's the thing, incels aren't just weird men who find it hard to date and find it hard to talk to and interact with women. Incels want women given to them. That's the thing people don't realize. It's not just, I'm incel, I'm hurt, I'm in a lot of pain. They want women given to them. And so he was trying to say, you know what? The men that want women given to them are in a similar situation as women who find it difficult to marry and have kids later on in their careers. And I was like, that's stupid. They're two different things. You know, those women are not demanding husbands be given to them by law. And I was like, wait. And then I realized, oh, this guy is an incel. This is his bad idea for today. He brought me to lunch to share his bad idea with me. So here's the thing. Here's what happens. The guy with the bad idea does two things. Or he wants one of two things. One, the guy has a bad idea. He tells you about the bad idea. You say, hey, you know what? That bad idea is a good idea. So he wants to find someone who agrees with him. He's looking for a fellow traveler. So, hey, I have a bad idea. You know what? That bad idea is a good idea. I like it. Yeah. So he finds someone who bonds with him because they agree on this stupid idea. That's why he talks about the same thing all the time. That's the one way it might play out. The other way is, hey, I have a bad idea. I say, yeah, it's a terrible idea. You're an idiot. He wants to argue. And when he argues, he's able to actually formulate an idea about how he can make his bad idea better. Or he can feel like a victim, saying, hey, you know what? The world is against me. So it's a win-win. Either he finds someone who agrees with his bad idea, or he finds people who oppose his bad idea, and he feels like a victim, and he feels like he can argue, he can debate. People who like to argue a lot have an inferiority complex. Oh, I noped out of there. I was done. I was done with all that. And the thing is, when he talked about that stuff, that was not too far from when that guy who did that stuff up in Canada, that incel in Canada went out doing whatever. I don't want to say what he did. There's some incel in Canada did some stuff like terrorist stuff up there. And I was like, listen, you're talking about this stuff. You act like I don't see that. These guys are terrorists. They want women given to them by law. They don't want a welfare check. They want a woman check in their house. I got out of there. I ran. I finished my pizza. I got out of there. He was a weirdo. But yeah, people like that, it's like, I feel like all this stuff is because people are just like, just strange. Just like, you know, they don't know how to communicate their needs, and they don't know how to fulfill their needs. I mean, they pretend like the world is built for them. And this is a common theme in America a lot of times. It's like people feel hurt because what they thought they were entitled to, they are not. Exactly. I have no business. I have no desire to be anywhere near those people. But the thing is, I am curious where they come from. I'm curious about where they come from. Like, something about this place made people think that because of who they are, that the world is built for them. I am entitled to this thing because of who I am. Not because of what they do, not because of what they contribute. I'm entitled to these things because of who I am. So you got a bunch of guys who are hurt that they can't get married. Therefore, they want the world to give them women. I'm like, dude, just go. Go and talk to women. Go understand what they want. Then maybe accept that maybe they don't want you. You know, it's like the world doesn't center around your needs and your wants. I'm a black man in America. I definitely know what I can and cannot demand from this world. And nothing is given to me. I must demand it. But at the same time, I don't expect it at all. It's just like you literally think the world is given to you because of who you are. I deserve a woman, therefore the world should give me one. You know what? I want a pony. Give me a pony. That's why I did psychology. Oh, you did psychology. Oh, cool. Were you a psych major, Noah, back in college? Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating stuff to think about. I mean, I find it interesting because it's like, I always feel like people have, I'm kind of a humanist in my mentality. I feel like people have potential. People have deep abilities that are untapped. I believe in humans' ability to grow and change. But I feel like people have forsaken that ability to wallow in their misery. You smoke too much. Smoke too much, and I was lazy. I didn't finish my lawyer major. Oh man. You smoke too much. All that Dutch marijuana did you dirty. The Cali weed. You passed the Dutchie too much. Smoke too much on the place. Say smoke too much. Come on, man. Hindsight's 2020. Too late. But hey, as long as you enjoyed yourself, maybe it was a good thing. It's funny though, I knew some guys in college. They smoked so much of that stuff that they used it as a study tool. Like, the only way they could absorb material was when they were doing the thing. And so these guys would get blazed and study. And then to get ready for the test, they would get blazed and study. And then they get blazed for the test, and they would crush the test because they were so relaxed. The information would just flow into their brain. I think we had this conversation. You don't smoke, you just do coffee. You're a coffee guy. Oh, hold on a second. That junkie shit. Yeah, definitely. Pretty much, they were addicted. They were addicted. Much to their detriment. But they passed. They got their degrees. They got their stuff. Now, because of your message, I've added a new term called junkie SH. Sugar honey iced tea. Oh, man. All right, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. Oh, 2:41. All right, folks. I want to call that a stream. It's 2 hours of vibing out with chat. No games. Just wanted to talk to you guys. I might try to stream a new old save tomorrow night. Depends upon my energy level. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I think, yeah, I might do that. I think I'll have some energy for FM. So we'll see. Why you got this stuff? Why you give me the sad Pepe face, Noah? You said you gave me the sad Pepe. Why you give me sad Pepe for? Hey, no sadness. Give me gladness, not sadness. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna take a shower. You just tuned in? Yeah. I forgot I gotta work tomorrow, man. You just tuned in. How long? It's been like 10 minutes, right? How long has it been? It hasn't been that long, has it? You've been here for a little bit. 10 minutes? No FM content. Guys, help me think of a thing to do with the stream. 15 minutes? Yeah. You guys gonna help me think of a new save. I'm thinking about Brazil or Belgium. Let me think about a new save. I do play FIFA, but it hurts my fingers. It hurts my fingers, man. I'm not good either. FIFA will break your fingers in half. I'll think about FIFA. That's a thought. I need something different. I should play it on PC too, because PC you can download the mod and stuff. Yeah, we can play FIFA. I love career mode. The problem is they don't fix it. There's so many bugs in career mode. Like, the bugs in career mode are always the same after 2 or 3 years of this stuff. Like, your hands are too big for the control. Get you some control freaks. Get you those things that they put on top of the controller. You said your hands are too big for the controller. Are you like, are you 6'8"? How big are your hands? But yeah, like the whole little fine movement stuff. I think if you play FIFA, you might have to play with one of those SCUF controllers. That way, you can play with the paddles, because the buttons might be too small for your big hands. Yeah, FIFA might be a vibe. I'll think about it. I'm 6 foot with my hands. Okay. I don't know. FIFA might be an idea. I think it might be. I play FIFA on Xbox because I get tired of FM, because with FM, the reason why I realize the difference is like with Football Manager. As much as you control stuff about Football Manager, you don't control the game. You control kind of their behavior, but the game is out of your control mostly. With FIFA, it's all you. And that's the thing I like about FIFA. Like, I switch up saying, hey, you know what? I can control the player. Thank you. Versus just saying, yeah. Yeah, Vosser, I kind of thought that. You know, that's what I thought. He's packing one of these. He's packing one of these down there. Big. He's packing it. He's packing. No. Family friendly stream. We don't do that. We don't do that here. Big hands. Long Don Silver. Alright then, chat. I'm gonna drop off. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for hanging out. Vosser, Noah, also Lockster, eating lamb and bacon. Big heart. Oh, get out of here. Banning you. You're getting banned, dude. Alright, guys, take care. I'll see you. I'm gonna get some rest.